SportsCenterSports.com.
We're going to have to take what the other teams are giving us and just go out there and grind it out. Some of the teams we're playing, they're not going out there hitting the ball around the ballpark the whole game either, but they're making the opposing pitcher work and using the whole field and things like that. And when you do that and you don't put that pressure on yourself in any way, normally good things happen, and we have good enough players where I think good things will follow.
Did the voiceover guy for our show swallow a trombone?
He fell into quicksand, and these two guys.
I was telling Phil before the show, we had like a massive, all the computers here in the office had massive updates. Like Windows had a big update. And I'm not sure if because the Windows
voice guy's
update,
voice went down an octave as part of the update.
Big voice guy went
blue
through,
screen
went
of
through
death.
puberty, I think, or something like times 10 because
Did you
that
notice
was an octave change.
The tune behind him also slowed down. It was boom, 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 boom. It's like our whole show got thrown in quicksand.
Awesome.
I can't get out.
It's a little bit like the Twins through 20 games so far.
It is.
We're gonna win.
Even our football bed sounds hilarious. Like this is it's kind of funny. We got some different trombones going on here.
Yep.
Well, all right. Well, I will hopefully put Big Voice Guy through some vocal cord rehab there, and we've got Talking Twins today. And there may be some dissension. We're gonna maybe what we do is we sprinkle Talking Twins in we just do an epically long statements today.
I think that's a really good idea.
Can just be part of statements today.
I like where you're coming from.
And this Monday Mackey and Judd show, which by the way kicks off NFL Draft Week. Purple Daily is where all of our daily Vikings entertainment lives. We'll have plenty of Vikings discussions too on Mackey and Judd throughout the week, but. This Monday edition of the show, powered by our friends at Federated Mutual Insurance Company. Federated has been around for over 100 years in the state of Minnesota, and they have a very important safety message for all of you today. In 2020, over 43,000 Americans died in car crashes, which is almost 3,000 more deaths than in 2019, despite the fact that there weren't as many people on the road. So tragedy can happen in an instant, and we must all do what we can to prevent it from happening. There's a lot of things happening outside of our control right now, but how we drive is not one of them. For your safety, for your loved ones, for each other, let's remember to drive safely, everybody. Federatedinsurance.com has a lot of great safe driving resources in the MyShield portal for you and your employees to check out. Remember, at Federated, it's our business to protect yours. All right, Declan, let's fire up. Statements here on a Monday. And
I'm afraid what the music's going to sound like.
Here's what it sounds like, though. I just want to be clear here. It's just a little slower.
Wow.
It's a little slower.
I can live with it if you guys can.
It's not. Yeah, this isn't that bad.
It isn't like our big voice guy. I mean, hold on really a second. I just want to hear him one more time. I want to hear this one more time.
These two guys have Minnesota sports flowing in their veins.
Kind of sounds like a robotic Manny Hill. Like it kind of sounds like a little bit more of a robotic Manny Hill.
By the way, so I had this problem when I set up this new studio, this home studio. I had this exact problem. I know what the fix is for you, but we'll talk about it offline here.
Okay,
yeah.
Sounds
so
good.
New computers?
Yeah, well, that might. Sorry,
car?
General Manager Dan Seaman. You're gonna have to buy new computers.
Computers.
New voice guy. All right, so we'll get to the twin stuff, but let's start with some optimism. What do you say? I think you're gonna bring wild optimism with your first statement.
Yeah, how can you not bring wild?
Because you're Judd.
Optimism at this point. Exactly right. I'm Mr. Optimistic. I'm Mr. Sunshine. Optimism's my game. By the way, first of all, happy birthday, Kirill Kaprizov.
That's right.
24 today.
24.
1997. Born on this date in 1997. And I will start with the Wild's best player in the history of the franchise by telling you guys this. And I've decided this. It's been my decision. I made this determination Saturday night. This was once a highly controversial episode of the Mackey and Judd show with Chris Long, our buddy, around for the show. And we debated this and talked about this. But my statement is this. Kirill Kaprizov currently holds the Minnesota sports belt that debuted on the Mackey and Judd show. Kirill Kaprizov, I've decided, I believe this goes so far back that it was actually when Garnett had come back and things were going great with Garnett, and we declared, because he was so loved, that Kevin Garnett held the sports belt, and I think we talked about it once or twice after, but not much. Kirill Kaprizov holds that belt this morning.
Okay, who are the other candidates? So we did this like 6 years ago, like you said, with our friend Chris Long from 5 Witness News. And it's basically who is the figurehead of Minnesota sports, right? Who holds the Minnesota sports belt? And I think we even had, we treated it like WWE, and we had like an intercontinental belt, like a second tier, like an up-and-comer belt.
I love it.
Yeah.
And
we had I think Teddy at the time had the up-and-comer belt.
Yeah.
Intercontinental.
So who's in that mix? If there is a ladder match to get the belt at Minnesota Sports WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I'm here
so
for this.
Kaprizov.
Justin Jefferson.
Yep.
I think Kat and Anthony Edwards are probably in the match. Justin Jefferson's in the match.
Buxton?
Is Kirk in the match? Buxton's in the
No.
match.
No. You've got to be. No. I think Jefferson's
he's in the match.
I think Jefferson's.
He's like Kane. He's just there, but he's not.
Yeah.
Dalvin Cook is in the match. Jefferson. If you want to put Kirk in there, that's fine.
Kirk has the money in the bank. He has literally the contract
being,
when he wants to decide when he can enter the match at any time in a point of his career.
Yeah, Buxton perhaps.
Buxton's, I think, in there.
I could see that one, but I'm telling you who holds it right now. 97. 97 holds that belt. Come at me.
It's hard to argue it. I think
Tell me I'm wrong.
I think you're right, just with how well they've been playing. In fact, I'm gonna sort of respond to your statement with a statement of my own here. Statement of my own on Mackey and Judd statements. The Minnesota Wild can and might win the Stanley Cup. And I'm going to go through a few things here. That's right.
Okay.
The Minnesota Wild can and might win
Let's hear it.
the Stanley Cup. This morning, they're 20-1 on DraftKings, which is like, I want to say 7th or 8th best odds. Colorado is 3.5-1. Obviously, Colorado is just like the most bulletproof team across the board. Goaltending, goal scoring, everything, right? But because hockey is hockey and the Wild are good, they're 3-5 against the odds-on favorite Colorado Avalanche. And so if those two teams do collide, it's not like, oh my God, they're 0-8. There's no, like, they've gotten beat 5-1 in every game. Like, they've won 3 of the 8 games. So they can do some, if they play a 7-game series, they're probably good for 1 or 2 wins just in the natural flow of the series. And then if they get, I don't know, hot goaltending or something, which brings me to my third point. Cam Talbot, Declan's going to like these. Cam Talbot, as of this morning, is 6th in the NHL in save percentage, 9th in goalie WAR, and 3rd in save percentage on unblocked shots, which is more of a pure, like, all right, it's you and an unblocked shot. How good are you? Mm-hmm. He's 3rd in the NHL this season. Okay?
Yeah.
So, hot goaltending, hockey being hockey, and that there's never a huge gap between the 1 seed and the 8 seed in terms of what can happen in a series. And the fact that even some of the odd sites, like DraftKings, are saying if you run these playoffs 20 times, Minnesota hoists its first cup at least once. I don't think they're favorites. I don't think they're even necessarily likely to win a first-round series, but they are in the mix to win a Stanley Cup, and I think it's the first time we can say that in quite a while. Wow. Your guys' thoughts? Fight.
I think that's no. I think it's. Look, I don't expect them to win a cup this year, but they're tracking in the right direction, definitely. And this is not a fluke. Like, they're building something. And you're right. Cam Talbot has been great. I mean, he has been on Friday night against the Kings. He was outstanding again. He's not flashy, and it's not like a bunch of like great saves that you're like, oh my God.
It's not like a shutout streak of 4 games.
But you don't need that. Who cares? Yeah. The defensive core is damn good. It's one of the best, deepest defensive cores in the entire league. The only place that they lack right now, center, which is going to probably cost them, but that doesn't mean that they can't fill that. This is as good as I have felt about this team in a long time, and it's the first time in years, Dex, that I felt like there's an actual plan here that's building to something as opposed to, well, let's just hope. You could see the wheels grinding and turning, and this is, in my opinion, what you want from your sports franchises, which is tracking in the right direction, having hope for this year, but I think just as importantly, saying this is sustainable. This is sustainable.
Absolutely. And Kirill Kaprizov has changed that entire formula because he's a superstar and he's literally everything this team has lacked for a long time. You have guys like Kevin Fiala, who might drive you a little bit crazy, but at the same time is a very dynamic player who can score some big-time goals for you. Joel Eriksson-Ek, out of absolutely nowhere, is scoring at an insane rate, finally for the first time in his career. And Zach Parise, Matt Zuccarello, these veterans, these guys who are on high-price contracts, we always look at them under the microscope, they're now role players, and they're thriving in the role of being role players. They're not being asked to do too much, playing 18, 19 minutes a night. Zach Parise is out there for 12 to 13 minutes a night. I bet deep down he's pissed. But at the same time, I don't care, because the team is winning hockey games right now. And to Phil's point, too, about high danger save percentage, high danger goal conversion rates, because the Wild are getting heavily outshot. And a lot of people keep saying, well, they keep getting heavily outshot. That's a problem. That's a problem. Well, analytically, yes, that might be a problem. But with your eye test, when you're watching this team play, is it that big of a problem? Because Kirill Kaprizov's taking games over. And also with high danger goals percentage, the Wild are 5th, behind only Colorado, the Islanders, the Stars, the Lightning. Omit the Stars from that equation, who are basically a bubble team right now. The Avs, the Isles, the Lightning all have a case to win the Stanley Cup, and the Wild are right there with them. And their high danger save percentage is 8th. So they're based. They're look at these nerds.
Yeah, no.
Look at these nerds.
But it's dead on.
Yeah.
The hockey whisperers.
But
Right
it's
here. The three of us.
It's exactly right. It's exactly right. No, it's great.
It is.
It's so much fun to watch a team that has a clear mission statement that's being fulfilled. It is so much fun to watch that development to me.
Yeah, and then I think for the first time in a long time too, you guys brought up that we've got birthday boy Kirill Kaprizov today, 24 years old. Kevin Fiala, 24 years old. Eriksson-Ek, 24. Jordan Greenway, 23. Like, for the first time, you look up just from the top down, the top scoring players on this team. Zuccarello is in that mix too. He's 33, but it's a bunch of dudes who are below the age of 25. And for a long time, it was a bunch of dudes who were over the age of 30 that were the ones at the top of that list for this team. So good for the season and some hope for the next 5 years for the first time in a while.
And don't sleep on guys like Matt Boldy, who are basically a year away. Marco Rossi, who was a big first-round pick. And you have 2 first-round picks in this draft alone. I don't know if both those get used by you. You might use them as a poker chip to get something you want in a trade. But you have 2 first-round picks. They're in the bottom. I mean, it's going to be...
Pittsburgh's too good, though.
Yeah, that's okay.
I'm not happy about that.
I don't care. No. I saw this was brought up yesterday, statement within a statement. People were upset because, now Pittsburgh's good and they got bounced in that Montreal series. Let me get this right. This team that is always saying get as many draft picks as you want is now upset because we have picks 22 and 27. No, for God's sake, stockpile as many darts as you can right now.
I thought...
It upsets me.
Yes. We all thought, though, that the Penguins wouldn't be this good. That's
True.
all. That's all. We thought it would be a higher pick. It's still a good trade.
It is.
I would trade Zucker again tomorrow if I could.
Right.
All right, I think we're on Declan here.
Yeah. My statement here.
Yep.
And it's help me, Minnesota Wild. You're my only hope, basically, right now, because the Minnesota Wild are the only team in this town who is basically going to do something of significant importance going forward. I know the Timberwolves are playing a little bit better right now, and that's great.
You're out of line with this.
I got to state my next statement is going to put that statement in its place.
Dude.
I know this team can absolutely win a
I bring
playoff
sunshine.
series. They could absolutely upset someone. And as much as I love my guys, Jaden McDaniels and Anthony Edwards, and by the way, there's a redraft. On my redraft, I got a ding. The Athletic came out with a new redraft. Jaden McDaniels cracks the top 10. That's a ding on Write That Down. Just came out this morning. Number 10, checking in, Jaden McDaniels. So another statement within statements here. But yes, the Minnesota Wild, you are my only hope. Let me see what Mackey and Judd have to say about that. But right now they're playing very good. They clinched a playoff spot. I'm curious what they do in the postseason. We just went over why they absolutely can make a run to the Stanley Cup, and they are my only hope with the Twins playing absolutely abysmal baseball.
All right, I'm going to put you in your place. On the Twins, you're 1,000% correct, and we'll get to that. Okay. But as far
you're wrong
as
on that too, by the way. But I'll get to that later too.
The only hope, let me tell you this right now. Saturday night on the computer TV, Wolves and Utah Jazz, gentlemen. Ant Edwards' game against the Jazz on offense, and hold on, wait for it, defense, 5 steals is another reason why the future doesn't have to be the past for your Minnesota Timberwolves. Ant had 5 steals. The Wolves had 13. Utah has 4 home defeats this year. 2 of them to the Wolves, which gets into a different conversation. But I'm here to focus on the positive. That Ant Edwards game is what can be.
Yes.
That's impressive.
They aren't good enough. They aren't experienced enough. And they aren't, like with Ant Edwards, he just hasn't immersed himself in the league enough on a night-to-night basis to know how to do all of that every night. So they're not gonna beat the Jazz. Like they play the Jazz again tonight at home. They might get beat by 20 in that game. Who knows? They're not good enough to do it every single night yet. But they're showing you in flashes here that win against the Heat a week and a half ago. The Kings aren't that great, but that fourth quarter against the Kings, and then, of course, they came back the next night and got beat by the Kings, which is what happens with a young team like this. So I'll just go right into my Wolves statement here. I can hear the grumblings. They beat the freaking Jazz. The Jazz might play in the NBA Finals, depending on if the Lakers can get everyone back and healthy, and if LeBron and AD are all back and healthy, and then I think it's the Lakers' conference to win still. But the Clippers are in the mix. But the Jazz are the best team at the top of a competitive conference in the regular season, and the Wolves have shown them a couple different times what they're capable of. And so I hear people grumbling, why are they winning these games? They're going to give away their chances at a top 3 pick. Every time they win a game, their percentage chance could decrease, at least once they get out of that top 3. And so my statement is, I would rather see the Wolves win with this nucleus than watch them lose by 20 every night in hopes of them maybe keeping the draft pick. Because it really, keeping the pick would be amazing, but if you can't win games with this nucleus, it doesn't matter who you pick. If this nucleus is broken, you're starting over anyways, because you're going to wind up trading Towns, and I'd rather see that this nucleus works and keep the draft pick ideally, but the most important thing among those two is that this nucleus works. And I think people are confusing it well, no, they need to lose games. Dude, if they lose games, it means that they're going to be trading Towns, and it means that the D'Lo is garbage and paid $30 million, too much. So keep winning games and let the chips fall where they may. That's my message to the Minnesota Timberwolves.
And then that trade. Then we can talk about the trade.
What the
D'Lo trade.
Well, listen, if D'Lo continues to play well, and if this nucleus continues to win games like we've seen Jazz Heat, then the trade looks much better for keeping the pick would be amazing, but if D'Lo and Ant work together and you got D'Lo hitting clutch shots in the fourth quarter against winning teams, that's why they made the trade. What you saw on Saturday is why they risked giving up the high first round pick in the first place. I think it was Friday, Saturday, whatever the hell day it was. Yeah. All right, Declan.
All right, back to me here. The second one is the Minnesota Twins are just not that good. Just not that good. And when I mean that good, the 94, 95 win. Judd, what you had, 96?
96 wins,
96?
Yeah. Feeling pretty good about that right now.
That doesn't mean they still can't be a good team. I'm not implying that they're an absolute dumpster fire going forward. They might have the dumpster on fire right now, and they can extinguish it before all hell breaks loose. But maybe I think we maybe got a little over ahead of our skis with the Twins just a little bit. I think this division's still pretty good. I think the White Sox are damn good. The Indians still have pitching, even though they're off to a slow start as well. I know the Royals are the darlings of baseball right now. We'll see how long, if that's sustainable or if that's legit at all. But I think you're going to see...
Spoiler, it's not.
It's not. I like the standings. It's gonna be a fun time to watch the Central race. I don't think you're gonna see a team probably win over 91, 92 games, but I think it's gonna have a bunch of horses in the race. But the Twins right now, they're just not that good. They can't hit the ball at all.
Something feels off.
It does feel off.
I'll say that. And I don't know. I think it goes way beyond on the field and just stats. Something doesn't feel right, but it's unquantifiable because we know nothing about the team itself.
Yeah. I was at the game on Friday night, and by the way, the atmosphere on Friday night was rocking. I don't know if it was just because it was the first Friday night game. I don't know if because multiple beers were had.
It's because you were
not hammered. I was not hammered. I was very... I can only afford so many $14 beers, even on this new executive producer
is that what it is now?
Pay scale here. Yeah, it's like $14 for a beer. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it doesn't
what?
mess around. Yeah,
So
it's like $12 to $14.
it was like
for a
11
beer.
before.
And by the way, no draft. Like, there's like no draft beers anywhere. Like, they're all coming in a can. And like,
That's
part
what I
of
was
me
told.
with a baseball game is I love a draft beer. I'll pay the $14
told me that, yeah.
for a draft beer, but
Wow.
everything comes in a can right now because of
Are they
COVID
tall
and
boys?
social distancing.
Are they at least tall boys? Okay.
Yeah, they're tall boys. Yeah, they're tall boys.
Still, that's aggressive.
So, but I mean, the stadium was rocking on Friday night. It helped that old man J.A. Happ was throwing a no-no into the 8th, and that was fun to see. But in general, I agree with Judd. There's something is off a little bit here, and I just don't think the Twins are that good.
All right, is this where we want to do the Judd panic thing? Judd wrote a big article encouraging people to panic on scorenorth.com.
Yeah, I said go ahead and panic.
So
Go ahead and panic.
Why don't you go ahead before I even bring any sort of sunshine and optimism? Let's hear the encouragement to panic.
The encouragement to panic is multifold. One is I contend something's off and I don't know what. But there's something going on with this team. And look, it's a long year, but that's why it helps to have it doesn't mean that people have to all be best friends, but it does mean that there has to be some chemistry or gelling of some sort, and it feels like that's off. Don't know why. Can't go in the clubhouse, so I can't explain it. It's just a gut feeling from watching this team that I have. The second thing is Rocco Baldelli, I think, over the course of a long year, is a really good guy, personality-wise, to manage a team. But when short-term crises arise, and this is the worst one that he's had in his 2+ years now in the regular season, I don't know he's the best guy because I don't think he has the switch to flip to not panic himself. That, if you are in charge of a baseball team, would be bad. But the urgency that's necessary. And I go back to the playoffs where things start to disintegrate and they're like, we're done. We are done. The third thing is quantifiable completely by statistics. They do not hit. And for the last 13 games, I believe they're at something like 3.2 runs per game. If you take out the 12-run game last week in the debacle in Oakland on Wednesday, I think they're down to 2-point-something runs per game. They don't hit. And the comeback from the apologist is, well, yeah, but Sanoa's out and Kepler's out, and wait till they get their entire team back, Judd. Just be patient. Just wait. And while I agree that Astudillo and Cave should not be playing on a daily basis, they are backup players who are being asked to do too much. The problem is, okay, Miguel comes back. What's going to happen? Because he wasn't hitting. He was damn near unplayable. And don't tell me he was walking a lot. He's not Ricky Henderson. It doesn't help. You actually need him.
He actually is among the league leaders.
No, I know, but I mean, we're acting like, oh, we found this new on-base machine. It's fantastic. He's hitting like 111, okay? Kepler in 2019 with the Bomba squad was fantastic. He definitely dropped off in the pandemic-shortened 2020. And aside from the 3-hit game, if you take away opening day in Milwaukee when he had 3 hits this year, he's at 1-something. He did not hit again. He had a bad spring, and after the opener, he regressed badly. So my point is, okay, guys, come back. Does that solve it? I don't know. The catcher position offensively as a whole has turned into a black hole. Jeffers and Garver can't hit. They are combined, I think, at like 120 or something. My point being is
160. Okay. Why don't you stop over exaggerating?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry. My point being is I understand that baseball is a long year, and I understand that there will be streaks of good and bad. All of that being said, the one thing about baseball that drives me crazy is the whole thing of trying to be like, it's a long year. They'll be fine. They'll get guys back. At some point in time, you do have to say, this looks really wrong and it looks off, and at least acknowledge it and not just say it's going to be fine, which is why I think if Twins fans want to panic, they absolutely can. They should. Go ahead, panic.
You've gotten the green light from the official.
Well, so many people though are all like, oh, don't worry, it's going to be fine. And I say, okay, you tell me why it's going to be fine. Is Miguel going to come back and hit? Because that changes things. Max Kepler as well. I mean, there are a lot of question marks that exist even when this entire roster is back and healthy.
And I think that sets the floor for my next statement, which is it is not time to panic for the Minnesota Twins yet. And if I were buying Minnesota sports stock, or like if there was a sports stock market, I think there are websites where you can actually buy stock in teams, like fantasy stock. Yep. I would be buying Minnesota Twins stock right now. Now, am I going to ignore all of the, like, a lot of the things you just brought up are definitely cause for some concern. I got a couple that I'll dish out throughout the course of the show today too, but I think the most important things to latch onto are, I think there's three. Number one, almost everything that could have gone wrong has gone wrong to this point, whether it's hamstrings and injuries and COVID, like all these things have gone wrong. Now, other teams have battled things. Other teams have played in cold weather. I hate that one, by the way. The cold weather thing, it's like, all right, it's cold in Chicago. It's cold pretty much everywhere. It's cold in Cleveland. It's not even that warm in Kansas City. Like, it's not super cold, but the cold weather thing does bother me. But thing number one is most of the things that could have gone wrong have gone wrong for the Twins so far this season. I would say the second thing to hang your hat on is Andrelton Simmons. As annoyed as I am at him for spreading COVID throughout that clubhouse, and as much as there might be some dissension within the clubhouse because of it, he is going to be back soon, and he's one of the best defensive players in this last 25 years, this last generation. He instantly makes your infield defense among, if not the best in baseball. And so some of these botched plays we've seen, like that extra inning game against Oakland, when Andrelton Simmons is back out there, you don't have Blankenhorn playing second base. Like, there's a trickle-down effect that will absolutely raise the water level for this defense. And then the third thing I would say is you actually, like, half of your lineup is on fire for the most part until this Pirates series. And now you're looking for these guys who've been hurt and on the COVID list and who've been underperforming, the group of Kepler, Polanco, Sano when he comes back. I'm not saying all of them revert back to their 2019 form, but they're not all going to hit 150 for the rest of the year. So, like, you can't just look at these last 2 weeks and be like, oh, my God, Miguel Sano's batting 111, and Max Kepler has a 677 OPS, and Jorge Polanco has a 514 OPS, and therefore they are just no longer major league players. Like, that's not the case. They might not be as good as they were at their peak in 2019, but they're not unplayably bad for the rest of the season. They're going to bounce back to some extent. So those are three reasons to not panic and take a step back off the ledge. I hear it. Kenta Maeda, I hear it. He's a pro. He's been a consistent good pitcher for like 7 years in the major leagues. So I don't have any concerns unless there's like an elbow problem that he's all of a sudden forgot how to pitch. So some of this there's definitely some things to be concerned about, and I will bring one to you later in the show. But I also feel like jumping off the ship after 20 games is overreacting. So that's my voice of reason. Take me down.
Get your life jacket out and be prepared to go. Be prepared to go. The Titanic only had X amount of small boats to get to.
Come back.
Folks, get in those boats right now. Get in those boats right now. Kepler, Sano, Polanco, guess what? Not great 2020s, and now it's continuing. I am growing very concerned.
I'm just seeing Max Kepler just float away into the water like Jack.
And if I hear Rocco one more time, live and let live. I mean, the guys need to get more sleep. He actually talked about it's going to be great to be playing night games now because the guys won't have to hurry to the ballpark.
Hey, that impacted the Cubs for decades. When it's not a coincidence. The Cubs started getting good again when all their games were night games, right? Baseball players are nocturnal. They are creatures of the night.
Rocco is worse than an Edina parent when it comes to making excuses for their kid.
Ooh, I like that one.
He is, Jimmy's a great kid. Well, he just stole from me. Oh, but you don't understand, Jimmy. Yeah, I do. He's a thief.
Miguel
can't hit.
But here's where you're just like you're very quick after 20 games to just think that Miguel Sano isn't going to have a 3-week hot stretch. So you and I share the same opinion about Sano, which is the ship has sailed on his David Ortiz upside. He's a one-dimensional player, and he's very frustrating. Where we differ is you've written him off altogether, and you think he's a 111 hitter. And I'm telling you, he's going to get red hot for like 3 weeks and carry the Twins offense.
But what is the Wild now finally, after years of me begging, what have they done a great job of this year? Slotting people into their correct roles and basically getting them to understand what you want from them, sometimes through tough love. I don't think Rocco has the ability to do tough love. So I think Miguel thinks I'm as good as I ever was. And I'm like, no, Miguel, you're hitting 111. And Rocco's like, no, he's fine. Like there's never any adult in the room when things go bad. And this, by the way, works great when things are going well. There's not an adult in the room. It's not discipline. It's more of we need to get you in line with what is going to suit you best for us, not what makes you comfortable. I don't care about your comfort. I don't care about, oh, good, I slept in today, I feel great. I don't give a damn about that. Hit the baseball.
But that philosophy has worked very well in the regular season the last 2 years. I mean, they've been one of the winningest teams in baseball for,
it has. But my question is, now that things are not going as smoothly, and to your point, you're right, a lot's gone wrong. Do they have the ability to pivot a little bit and handle that? I have my doubts.
I would say that if this thing is a Titanic situation, and if you're right, grab the life jackets, get on the limited supply of lifeboats. It's not because Rocco and his message turned the thing.
Yeah, that's part of it. I'm not saying that's the whole thing.
It would be because their bullpen dropped off and they misevaluated a couple free agent signings, and they have the oldest roster in all of baseball.
And the good ship Garver is sinking.
Yeah, I mean, Garver also was. The thing about Garver, too, is he was never a huge power hitter in the minor leagues, and all of a sudden he hits the 30 bombs or whatever in 90 games in 2 years ago. He was always due for some regression. I mean, Declan, if you had to bet everything, your entire existence and all of your future, all right, on my stance or Judd's stance. My stance being, listen, it's 20 games, calm the bleep down, and Judd being, oh my God, light the boat on fire.
No, don't light the boat on fire. It's sinking. We don't need more adversity.
I want to be lowering the boat right now. I'm not I'm starting to lower the boat.
Yes.
The iceberg is ahead, people.
Iceberg right ahead.
Look. We are going to hit the iceberg. We are going to sink and all die. We are screwed. I'm with Judd. I'm sorry. I'm with Judd. It
feels
I
off.
want to be in the middle. But you're making me bet all my limited life savings on one of these options, and I'm going with Judd Zulgads. I'm going down with the ship with Judd. I'm going down with.
And by the way,
staying on the broken ship.
To be clear, I hope we're both wrong and Phil is right. I don't want to be right about this. This sucks, okay? It's not good for us. It's not good. No, I'm dead serious. It's not good for the fan base. I take no satisfaction in the feeling I have. I want to be wrong. So just to be very clear, I hope Phil is 1,000% right.
Okay, I do have, just so you guys don't think that I'm just blindly optimistic homer guy here, I do have a nugget here. I just want to do statement within a statement here since we're on this Twins. And these Twins discussions, talking Twins every day on Mackey and Judd, powered by our friends at Dennis Kirk. You want to talk about best in the business? Well, the Twins lineup, not really the best in the business. But Dennis Kirk, when it comes to parts and accessories for whatever you ride, a Harley, a sport bike, a metric cruiser, 160,000 parts and accessories in stock, clothing and helmets as well. Order by 8 p.m. and they ship the same day, and shipping is free for orders over $89. They truly are the best in the business, unlike the lineup we've been talking about. DennisKirk.com, everything you need for your ride at DennisKirk.com. So the Bomba squad 2 years ago, best lineup in Twins history in terms of, best power hitting lineup in the history of Major League Baseball, period. Now, 3 teams or more, maybe it was 4 teams, broke the previous team record for home runs. The ball was juiced. Baseball has spent the last couple of years, which I think is ridiculous, trying to remove home runs from the game, and they've changed the baseball. And so a lot of things have happened. And the Bomba squad, if you look at I'm going to take you guys to nerd analytics school here for a second, okay? You thought Declan was going nerdy with his hockey stats earlier?
Hey, he was, actually. I liked it. Mm-hmm.
So the Bomba squad 2 years ago, I worry about their philosophy 2 years later here. So they were first in the league in fly balls hit 2 years ago, and they were 5th in the league in percentage of fly balls that turned into home runs. So that's the recipe for Bomba squad success 2 years ago, right? Hit a bunch of fly balls, and then have a super high percentage of those fly balls go over the fence. It's all they tried to do all season. It was very feast or famine, because if you're not making contact for a couple games, then you're not going to score runs doing it that way, right? This year's team, 18th in the league in fly balls hit and 20th in the league in percentage of fly balls that have gone over the fence. And so they've got the same type of approach. They've got the same, basically, a lot of the same guys. They've even added an honorary Bomba Squad member in Josh Donaldson. So it's the same strategy and the same people for the most part, and they're not hitting as many fly balls, and they're certainly not having as many fly balls go over the fence. So it's like the Bomba Squad. We've replaced the Bombas with like firecrackers or something. I don't know what the
Baby
comparison
Bombas.
would be. So
They don't go out.
they either have to figure out a way to hit more fly balls and hit more deep fly balls, or change their approach to run scoring if they want to get back close to the level that they were at 2 years ago. So there's my nerd analytics. So I guess statement would be I do worry about their philosophy offensively now compared to where it was 2 years ago. It's just not working the same way as it was. All right.
All right, one more statement. I always like to bring a weekend observation statement, as I like to do on these situations. So this last Saturday was my annual kickball game. So we always do this big, once a year we do a kickball game with like some of my college friends. We always get together, go to the park in Northeast, and just play a very sober-filled game of kickball for a few hours.
Wow, which park in Northeast do you guys go to?
It's right by Sociable Cider Works off of Fillmore and like Broadway. There's like 6-7 ball fields right around there. Can't remember the exact name of the park.
Is this like a kickball tournament, or do you
No,
guys
it's just for fun. We literally throw shoes in the middle. We have two captains. They throw shoes from left to right. That's your kickball teams. You play a kickball for 5-6 innings until everyone gets bored. It's a fun little game. We do it every year.
So you don't pick teams? Like, captains don't just pick the teams?
We all pick the teams once we're there. You know,
Okay.
so everyone puts a shoe in the middle, like old school. I guess I don't even know if that's
Oh,
what they used to do back in the
I've
day.
never
I don't
heard of
even
this.
know.
No.
So everyone
We
puts a
pick
shoe in the
kids.
middle.
Yeah.
There's two captains. One shoe goes to the right, one shoe goes to the left, and that's your teams. Guys and girls, it's co-ed, and that's how we play kickball.
You guys should have the captain's pick, because that's the greatest way to hurt feelings quickly. So like, you got to pick the fat kid last.
So I
mean,
think
you
we
can't
did
stop
this,
that.
We did that 3 years ago. Like this is like the fourth time
Yeah,
we've done
people
this.
get bent out of shape. It's outstanding.
And it was
Phil
one of
likes
those
it.
situations at the time 4 years ago. Like I only knew like 2 or 3 people involved.
Yeah.
And it's more of a White Bear Lake kind of a thing. And a lot of White Bear Lake kids went to St. Cloud State.
Trouble there.
So
yeah.
it's just I've been an honorary member, Go Bears, into the White Bear Lake fan club, I guess.
Go Bears.
And my statement is, my long-winded statement is to make sure you stretch before kickball, because even this great athletic guy like myself, my groin is hurting for a lot of reasons. My calves are hurting.
You watched the first 20 Twins games, and you couldn't figure out to stretch your hamstrings?
No, I couldn't. And I was pitching. But
you know what the problem was, Phil?
The whole thing.
It was cold.
It was cold.
It was cold.
We had
It's hard.
bundled up.
I mean, how is Declan supposed to play in the cold?
No,
I think there was a couple people on just knowing Declan's reckless history with COVID that a couple key players wound up on the COVID 10-day list too.
I think this group has nothing to do with that group you're referencing. So at least I have that going for me.
New group we can give COVID
Yeah,
to.
exactly.
Yeah,
And
they're
we all were
unsuspecting.
vaccinated. We all had vaccinations. We all
Unsuspecting.
showed off our vaccination cards. It was a whole thing. But yes, make sure you stretch before kickball because this is very, very, very important.
I feel like kickball is an underrated sport.
It is. It's fun.
It's a great sport.
I would
Yeah.
love to see kickball on, I don't know if we need it on ESPN, but like it sounds like NBC Sports is going out of business.
Yes.
Is there some sort of wing of NBC Sports while they're going down that we could put kickball games on? I would watch kickball on TV on like a Sunday afternoon.
Professional kickball.
We also you had to have a drink in your hand the whole time too. And by the way, trying to catch a kickball with one hand occupied, very difficult. Very difficult.
Oh, so you have to catch the fly balls with
You
one
have to
arm.
catch the fly ball.
Public intoxication. That's a good idea.
You can, we were good. We were home by.
Minneapolis doesn't have
we were
enough
home by
problems.
5
You now
o'clock.
got a bunch of White
I
Bear
had a
Lake
great-
people
I took a great-
drunk in a park.
It has nothing to do with what time you go home. Like you're not supposed to be drinking in public.
Yeah.
Oh, there was another team across the field that even had. They brought a keg. The other team brought this other group of people brought a keg.
I'm appalled.
You just had a keg in the middle of a park in Minneapolis?
We didn't. Another group who was also doing the same thing we were had a keg in Minneapolis. I rolled over the trash can. We picked up all the trash. We were good. We all went
how does
home.
that work? Like if you go to a public park where there's softball fields and stuff, and you bring a cooler,
Yeah.
can you drink? Can you just hang out and drink in a park with a cooler? Or does it have to be a private establishment. How does that work?
I'm sure if the Paul Blarts walked by, we would need some type of, actual permit. But I think it was more of there's a bunch of kids playing kickball. We're not causing a scene necessarily. Everything's okay.
Yeah, I think my park has a sign saying no alcohol permitted in my parks. And I think a lot of parks have that.
That sounds like an SLP thing, though. That doesn't sound like a Minneapolis thing.
All right.
Maybe.
I mean, that's fine. So you went and spread COVID.
No, we were all
got
outside.
drunk
We were all
publicly, probably peed in public.
I went back home by 7 o'clock. I took a great nap.
Did you pee at that field?
No, there's a porta potty there. I went to the porta potty.
Ugh, I hate porta potties.
I don't like them either, but I wasn't gonna go in the.
I thought you might go in the bushes.
Yeah.
Did you take the drink in there with you?
No, God, no. I did not. Shockingly.
That is disgusting.
I shockingly did not.
Oh, there's nothing worse than a porta potty.
It's pretty bad.
Airplane bathrooms, I'll take those 10 out of 10 compared to a porta potty.
I would rather go to a porta potty than an airplane bathroom.
A porta potty is one of the most disgusting things ever. I've got porta potty stories of stuff I've seen that I never want to see again. I mean, airplanes are uncomfortable, but you flush them,
they're
gone.
Better, yeah.
It's
I
gone.
have a phobia. I think it's less about like the cleanliness of the airport bathroom, which I also question. I think it's more that like if you're doing your business in there and there's just someone sitting inevitably in seat 35C, they're basically in the bathroom with you. So like if you're gonna toot up the storm for like 10 minutes.
It's not your problem.
That guy or gal is just sitting right there.
Just cut it loose. It's not your problem.
And there's no escaping. If you're in there for more than like 90 seconds, everybody on the plane knows what's happening in there, and it's just a walk of shame back to your seat. That's why I try to avoid eating anything before getting on a plane.
Wow. That's a big time phobia. Like you're old enough now, it shouldn't matter anymore.
I just don't want to. Plus, it's small. Your knees are banging on the. It's just.
Oh, yeah. No, it's not comfortable. But I'm saying a porta potty's 10 times more. Because a porta potty's just disgusting.
At least there's space.
I don't want space. I want out. All right. I got a final statement.
What a great statement.
If you guys want it.
Yep.
And I don't even know if I want it. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
I brought this to the table.
For giving me the option.
Last week. I brought this to the table last week at Statements, but I'm going to bring it back because it continues to just be great. The Dodgers and Padres, their series is plural, have restored my faith in MLB's ability to entertain me. Last night, it's 7-1 Dodgers in Dodger Stadium. The game is over. And I'm like, should I turn this game off? And I'm like, you know what? I'm doing some stuff. I'll just continue to watch it till it's done. The Padres rally in 11 for an 8-7 win. The Padres take 3 of 4. The exchange on Saturday with Tatis hitting not 1 but 2 home runs, I believe, off of Bauer. And then doing the one-eyed thing as he went around the bases to make fun of Bauer. And then Bauer coming back and saying, yeah, he should. Mm-hmm. It's really restoring my faith in baseball. This is what, when I was a kid, this is what the Yankees and Red Sox used to be. Like before it took 18 hours to play. Like the rivalry, it's hate, but it's also respect. This is so much fun to watch.
It is. I think Trevor Bauer being the highest profile pitcher in baseball right now and also one of the best pitchers, and him, love him or hate him opening up the door for hitters to celebrate their successes. It's like, yeah, just, I don't care. Flip your bat, whatever. Like, let's stop policing this. Baseball's fun. That attitude trickles into the Padres-Dodgers series. Like, even just, a relief pitcher getting out of the 6th inning or something, out of a first and second 2-outs jam, will hop off the mound and do a fist pump and stuff because it's a safe space. Dodgers, Padres, for the most part. Guys still get a little bit offended.
Yeah.
The Brusdar Gratterall thing from last year
but it's
rubbed some
great.
people the wrong way.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It is a safe space for baseball being fun. And I hope that it trickles into some of the other teams and like these stuck-up franchises and managers like Tony La Russa and the Cardinals, right? Like, let's get rid of that mindset and let's let players celebrate their successes. When I'm watching basketball on a regular basis and I'm seeing, Damian Lillard hitting a stone-cold shot to end a series in the playoffs and waving goodbye to, was it Russell Westbrook? Guys are thumping their chests all the time in the NFL. They're doing group celebrations after touchdowns, and the opposing team isn't like, how dare you show me up with your boat rowing celebration, Adam Thielen, your soccer slide in London. We're going to slide some cleats into your neck.
We're going to throw a baseball at your head.
It's ridiculous.
But it's fantastic. And these teams are so damn good. Like they are so good. And the pitching matchups, look at them. It's like all-stars. I mean, this literally restores my faith in a sport that I often find to be, what's the best word? Sort of just drab. I mean, it's just not that much fun. And the game itself is great, but, the Twins and Pirates yesterday is just an exercise in when's this going to be done.
Yeah.
The Dodgers and Padres is the exact opposite.
Baseball needs to literally take a 10 steps back look at what matters to fans. Fun, entertainment, off-season excitement, right?
Blackout restrictions lifted.
Oh my God!
I mean, that's.
I think I told you guys off mic. So, being out here, transplant Minnesota sports fan on the West Coast, right? So when the Twins were playing, I told you guys this off mic, but just to bring it on mic. So the Twins were playing Seattle like 2 weeks ago, and I go to my MLB package. All right, fire up. I think the first game was a day game on whatever the hell day it was, Tuesday or Monday or something. Mm-hmm. And so I'm going through the MLB package, and oh shoot, that's right. MLB package blacks out the local team, and so even though I'm going to watch the Twins, they're playing the Mariners, and therefore I can't watch the game. Whatever. Oh, I'll just watch it on the local channel. Click, 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 click. Root Sports. Click, 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 click. Oh, they aren't available on streaming platforms like YouTube TV, which is what I have. And so I'm sitting here.
Bally's.
I'm a Twins fan out on the West Coast, right? I just want to watch the Twins. Okay, I can't because of blackout restrictions with the Mariners. Yep. All right, now I just want to watch the Mariners because they don't allow their channel to be streamed on YouTube TV. It's like, quit making it so bleeping hard for fans to access your sport. Okay, like. Get over this blackout BS ASAP.
It's just stupid. And like, I get the old school blackouts because it was ages ago. We didn't want you not to attend home games. And then I think it was to protect the sponsors, right? Because if you go to your own platform and don't see the ads. But I mean, it's 2021 now. People just stream. That's what they do, right? Yeah. Netflix does not have a Geico commercial the last time I checked. Like, if you're baseball or all sports, just get with the program now, which means changing. It's just incredible that you would want to make it as difficult as possible for a 25-year-old potential baseball fan to watch a game.
Yep. Make your games. I mean, this is the recipe. Make your games the most accessible of any sport, any device. Their marketing slogan should be any device, anytime, any team. Right? Yeah. Major League Baseball games are just because baseball's not super appointment viewing. There's 162 games. Everyone's busy and outside in the summer, and so it's not like NFL games where it's a ritual. 16 times and now 17. You're going to sit down on a Sunday and you're going to immerse yourself in it. Baseball is more of a passive. It's not really a lean-in sport every night. So if I'm out at a restaurant or at a park or I'm in Declan's Kickball League or I'm bouncing around, like, any device, anytime, any team, make it available.
Amen.
Make your off-season more fun by creating more structure and having a window where players are signing. Like, put some sort of salary floor and ceiling on it. It's really not that. And then let players and encourage players to have fun. Make it fun, make it accessible, etc. By the way, these fixes to Major League Baseball are presented by our friends at Wamatech, who are here to fix, not really fix, just replace your broken down phone, tablet, or laptop. So Wamatech, what they do is they source their own pre-owned devices directly and pass the savings on to you. They'll even buy your old device for cash. Buy, sell, trade in, whatever you need. And every device they sell is tech certified and comes with a warranty. So you're not buying some broken down piece of junk. You're getting an actual good and working device. Buy, sell, trade in, whatever you need. Wamatech.com. WAMATEK.com. All right. So how far can you kick a ball, Declan? How good, of all the players, how would you rank yourself?
I think I only went 1 for 4. I had the first hit for the team in the bottom half, and I scored the first run. I had a nice hit right into the left field line, and then the next few times I think I just popped up. I pulled a Mitch Garver, got way too ahead of myself, too cocky after a nice little hot streak, and then I was just popping balls up high in the air. It was a whole thing. I know.
Wow, like straight up the phone booth, like who, like to the infield?
One was a really nice catch in left center field. I'll give my guy credit for that. The other two were was a pop up in the first. There was some wind blowing. I'm gonna blame some wind coming in towards the end of the game.
Oh yeah, and it's cold. It's cold out too.
It was cold out.
Come on.
I was also I was pitching for my team, so I was doing double dip. I was throwing. I was hitting.
You're basically Jay
thing.
Cave. Just admit it. You're Jay Cave.
I was.
You shouldn't be playing.
Yeah, I was Jay Cave, Cody Stashak, whatever you want to call it. I was all of them. All the above.
Was kickball not the greatest sport though? And any recess sport that allowed you to choose teams. I don't think there's a better reflection on what is ahead for a youngster in life than being part of picking teams, right? Because picking teams is like one of the first real things where no one protects you from, Judd, his feelings right? No one's there. If Judd's fat, out of shape, and bad, he's not going to get picked high.
He has to deal with it.
Yeah, exactly. But you go home and you're crying, Mom, they didn't pick me. And, your mom's like, oh, you are so handsome. And you're not. You're just a fat kid. So I really believe
Is that a you thing?
that, I fluctuated just like I do now. Yeah. But my point is the picking of teams in gym class or recess is truly reflective of what is going to be ahead for you in life, which is you're going to be hurt at times too bad.
I feel like you've also just explained why people have deep-rooted insecurities as adults that they can never get over.
It probably is. It probably is. But I'm just saying that's a life lesson right there. Recess is a life lesson. I learned more in recess than I ever did in any class at St. Therese. Recess was where you learned.
You should be able to major in recess when you get to college.
I was a goon. I protected my friends.
A goon.
I was a goon. I got in some good fights. I was in some good fist fights.
Good Lord.
When did you hang up the gloves? How old were you?
I never got in a fight after I went to Benilde. So eighth grade. So and I was also big. So I was big for my age through eighth grade, and around ninth grade, I was still sort of tall, but kids catch up to you really quick then. But basically, so I went to St. Therese K through 8, and I was probably in my fighting prime, let's say third or fourth grade through
Agreed.
7th grade.
Dude, did you guys see what happened in that UFC fight this weekend?
Not really.
I think it happened.
I saw a
clip on social.
I saw a tweet about this.
Dude went for a little right leg on left leg kick.
Yep.
And opponent brought his leg up to sort of block the kick, and a full powered right kick right into the front of the knee of this other guy, and all of the force went back into the original kicker's leg. And so his leg snapped in the middle of the shin, and you could see him bringing it back in the slow motion. He didn't realize it was broken right away because it takes a couple seconds for the pain to shoot through your body.
Yeah.
And so you can see his face started to change expressions like, oh, this is going to hurt. And then he puts his foot back on the ground.
Oh, no.
And snaps the whole thing in half and
compound
fracture.
No.
Oh, my God.
Nope.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Don't like that.
I can't watch that sport.
Me neither.
I just can't watch it. I'm sorry. I can't.
We're going to do
myself.
Kickboxer soon on Action Movie Rewind, though. It'll be.
Yeah, I just can't bring myself to watch that stuff, though. It crosses a weird line.
I did watch.
Because I don't know where my line is exactly, but it's somewhere around there.
After my kickball game, when I had multiple beers, I came home and took a nice little cat nap. I did wake up and watch the new Mortal Kombat. Speaking of gruesome MMA nasty injuries, the new Mortal Kombat had a lot of that as well. So that was my last statement.
Well, since we're doing an unofficial, what are we watching here? I did finish season 3 of Cobra Kai.
Oh, nice.
And
Allie was in 2 episodes.
I saw
Allie and
I watched
Johnny
her.
kind of rekindled things for a minute there.
Yep.
Newly single at age 50 or whatever she is.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Very excited. Highly recommended. If anyone is
love Cobra Kai.
at all a fan of Karate Kid, the first 3 seasons Cobra Kai are awesome.
When's Curb back?
It's filming.
I need Curb to come back.
Yeah, Richard Lewis is on an episode, so they're filming.
Yeah, Jeff Garland was on 10 Questions the other day with Kyle Branton. He said they're in the process of doing it. So it'll be back. It'll be back.
Good.
Love it. All right, those are your statements. Monday episode here of Mackey and Judd Draft Week on Purple Daily Vikings Entertainment. You can check us out there too, and don't forget our 2 YouTube channels, Score North and Purple Daily. Give us a subscribe on those, and we'll give you daily entertainment and sometimes panic on both those channels. See you guys tomorrow.